Let's do it.
I don't know what it is, but I feel it.
This is The Real Disruption.
There you go. Hold on, Rafael. I've got to, I think you're on mute. Let me get you off mute. I think you're on mute, brother. You just got to take yourself off mute. There you go.
What's up, brother? I'm so sorry I'm late, man. I've been trying to find this email. My Wi-Fi, dude, I greatly apologize.
You're good, bro. We were going back and forth the questions, so you're all good. I appreciate you coming.
Amazing.
So how's it going?
Oh, brother, absolutely blessed, highly favored. God is good. I feel anointed every day. Here in my office, actually. So it's just been it's been an amazing journey. You know, just an amazing journey looking at what's happening in kind of the marketplaces on a macroeconomic scale, and being able to just observe things that, you know, in the position of a high liquidity standpoint, and just kind of being patient and seeing what's happening. So it's been good, man. Really good.
Awesome, dude. So, you know, I've been following you for a while, and I know you're in the Florida area, but I know you kind of did business all over the place. And you're a young guy in this business who's done really, really well. So can you just give everybody who's on here right now just a little background on yourself and how you got started in real estate, and, you know, where you are now?
Sure. Well, I'll kind of tell you a brief background. Hold on one second.
Sure.
Hey, Nev, if you want to get so I'll tell you a brief background really quickly. You know, my name is Rafael Vargas. I'm 28 years old. We're actually here in my 5,000 square foot office that we built here in Tampa, Florida. But I started with nothing. I started from very humble beginnings. You know, at the age of 17, I was involved in some crazy stuff. People were trying to murder me at a young age, you know, and I had a single mother and a mentally disabled brother that I felt I always learned, and I learned at a young age, the feeling of responsibility of other people. And so I've always felt the responsibility of other people on my shoulders at a very young age, even at the age of 5, you know, having my little BB gun trying to fight off, you know, my father, you know, from crazy, you know, abusive stuff that was going on, trying to protect my brother and my mentally disabled, my mentally disabled brother and my mom, you know, so I've always felt the responsibility at a young age. And so that just transcended into entrepreneurship, where, you know, at the age of 20 or 21, where I felt, you know, I felt more compelled and more intelligent enough to kind of seek real opportunities. I was a knucklehead until that time. I got kicked out of high school, so I barely graduated. And I never went to college, so I don't have any formal education. But I've read a lot of books. So at the age of 21, you know, I saw somebody driving a 750 BMW. And a 750 BMW at the time was what success looked like to me. And you know, it's crazy how I see success very differently now. But, you know, I saw that as success, and I said, look, what do you do? I'm working a $12 an hour job. I'm trying to take care of my brother. I'm trying to take care of my mother. What do you do? And he said, I do real estate investing. And I said, well, whatever it is that you do, I want to do that too. He said, I could teach you. Pay me $3,000 and I'll teach you everything that you need to know about real estate. I said, great. So I paid him the money, and by the way, $3,000 was a lot of money to me, right? You know, that was literally, you know, all my money, and, you know, some stuff that I saved illegally from things that I used to do, and, you know, I used to do music production, so I sold, you know, my music production equipment because I knew that financial freedom was the goal, and I knew that I wanted to become a millionaire for my mother. I wanted to become a millionaire for my brother. I wanted to take care of my family. I wanted to retire my mother. And I was like, I'm willing to do whatever. And the really important thing I think a lot of people don't know about is, like, I had to let go of my passion to seek profits. You know, I had to really put my passion aside to seek, hold on one second. I had to put my passion aside to seek profits. And that's what I just had to do because my family needed it. And so when I started pursuing it, you know, at the age of 21, long story short, it was very difficult. No one believed in me. My own mother didn't believe in me. We used to fight every single day. I get home and we fight, go get a job, go back to college, save money for college, you know, while she's working 2 jobs at that time, trying to go to college herself to become an accountant because she's working, you know, pretty much dead end jobs. And my mentally disabled brother, we had to neglect him in the house, and he would stay in the house by himself, walking around in circles while I'm making peanut butter jelly sandwiches, you know, while I go to work, while she goes to work, and he's by himself. And that brought a lot of pain. It brought a lot of pain. It brought about a lot of anger. And all this anger and pain of being robbed from this $3,000, watching my mother struggle, watching my brother at home all day, it created in me a vicious discipline, a vicious need, not a want, but a need for success, a burning need. And because of that, nothing would have stopped me. I would go 3 days with no sleep. I would be cold calling till my ears bleed all day, every day, trying to get my first wholesale deal. I would be, driving for dollars and being extremely productive in absolutely every single thing that I did. And so for 9 months straight, while no one believed in me, all my friends are making fun of me. My mom's, screaming at me, fighting with me every day, watching my brother, all this craziness, madness, 3 days of no food, 3 days, no sleep, reading every single day, book after book after book, memorizing Tony Robbins speeches and reciting them in the mirror, because I knew one day I'd speak in front of thousands of people. All this stuff that I was doing, no one saw, but that was me in the closet, in the basement. And, long story short, 9 months, closed my first deal, made $30,000 on my first deal 9 months later. And that was what catapulted me in my career, which was wholesaling and real estate investing. And so, 7 years later, I'm here in my 5,000 square foot office. We scaled a national real estate investment company that was doing between 40 to 50 houses and flips every month in 8-9 different metropolitan markets. And, we were doing about, $4.5 million a year, extremely profitable, strong team, small team, but strong. And we're doing everything virtually. So flipping houses virtually, all wholesale. I was flipping development deals. I own commercial buildings. I own single family assets. I own a lot of different real estate right now. So, that's pretty much my story in real estate.
Part of what you touched on is you put a video up a while ago, actually, that I remember. It was your backstory, like the day that changed your life. And, a lot of that, we don't come from the same background, but we come from similar backgrounds. So a lot of that resonated with me. That you were, literally running around town fearing for your life, not knowing where the next thing was going. And you kind of turned that around to, well, I wasn't meant to die, and this person was, and I wasn't meant to be in a house to put on fire. And these, and I appreciate that you're just your mindset. Obviously the market's been crazy the last 2 months, and stuff is kind of frozen in a lot of areas. What are you doing now? Like, where's your business today? And what is your, I'm sure you have a plan. So what's your plan right now to kind of keep moving forward?
Yeah. And so, my biggest plan is there's two plans, right? I think I've been getting a lot. If anyone here follows me on Instagram or follows me on social media, I have somewhat of a presence, but at the end of the day, I've been getting so much heat because I made a post that said, hey, I'm getting out of real estate wholesaling. I'm no longer going to be doing it. So I made this post, and, I've been getting a lot of negativity and heat. It's crazy to think, my mind doesn't work maybe the same like these other men and women that I see posting about me, but I just never could fathom like a post about somebody else's moves. It's just like, what decision that I make in my business should have nothing to do with you and how it affects you. Right. But I've been seeing so much, it just showed a lot about the real estate industry, that it's really more about, clout and talk than actual action and revenue. And you know what, like at the end of the day, what's crazy is like numbers don't lie. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? So like people say, what are the opportunities that I have? And I really, like, I'm not doing this to post or brag. And I actually didn't even plan on doing this, but I just want to show you, like, these are the kind of wires that we received just last month in April. These are all just April wires, all April wires. And these are the amounts of all that's happening in April, right? All of the amounts in April. And again, this is not to boast and brag. That's over $1.05 million in profits in 1 month. And this is one company. So this is not to boast and brag. Again, I want to be that very clear, but I just want to show people that I think the strongest, sorry, my jeweler is blowing me up right now. I gave him back one of my watches because it was messed up. But, I think the reason why I'm showing that is because numbers don't lie. People lie, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And what I want people to realize is, like, people that are the most successful individuals that you meet are like Warren Buffett's, are like Elon Musk, people that are able to transition completely. They're not stuck to one thing, one niche, one business, one this, one that. We're able to transition. So my businesses in total made over $1.2 million just in April, glory be to God, because, it's really cool to see that, now we're on track to doing about $15 million to $20 million this year. And it's because of COVID. So the opportunity that I'm capitalizing on, the biggest ones that I'm doing right now, I'm going to talk about the two that I'm doing right now that are the biggest ones. And then I'm going to talk about the one that I think every single real estate investor should be looking at right now. And I think this is also another $20 million opportunity. So the two that I'm doing right now is Forex. I'm investing heavy in Forex. We have we have some 7 figures in money invested in foreign exchange. And I have a professional trader that trades my money. So Forex is a phenomenal vehicle because, on the down, you can make money, on the up, you can make money. And as long as you're catching the macroeconomic trends that are happening, and you have somebody that's intelligent enough and wise enough to actually be able to, maneuver and risk your money the appropriate way, then you're going to make money, a lot of money, and we made a lot of money in April in Forex, multiple 6 figures. And then our other biggest opportunity right now is in Amazon automation. So Amazon automation, and these are 2 vehicles that I saw this being massive because I knew there was going to be an economic correction. I knew the stock market was going to crash. I transitioned out of real estate, 9 weeks ago. So way before COVID was even really COVID here in America, because I saw what was happening in China, and I had a lot of resources in the FBI and the CIA told me this is going to get bad and it's going to come to America. And so I knew it was going to affect the stock market. So I got out of real estate. I knew it would affect real estate, got out of real estate, and I knew what would happen if everyone is quarantined at home, social distancing. What is going to happen? What is going to happen? People are going to start buying stuff. Everyone, this total amount of people that's on here, on this webinar, everyone here has bought from Amazon in the past, 30 days, and Amazon has just skyrocketed. It's now $1 trillion company. And so what we do is we actually build stores for clients. So if somebody says, hey, I want a store, we say, great, we will build you a store, add all the products and the listings. We do drop shipping. So it's all drop shipping model. So you don't own any of the products. Somebody that buys on their store, once they buy, you receive the money, and then we ship the product from our private suppliers to the seller, right? And so we build these stores, and for example, stores can range, our goal is to get our clients to $100,000 in sales every month, and that can range in profitability between $10,000 to $20,000 in net profits per month, completely hands off, completely passively. We do all the work, our VAs do all the work. So that's pretty much what I do. That's one of the biggest opportunities because Amazon, the sales have been just incredible. And now, we partner with these clients. You say, hey, I want a store. We say, great, we'll partner with you. We own 25%, you own 75%. We do all the work. It's in your name. And the reason why we do that is because Amazon only allows you to have one store. So that's why we partner with multiple people. So now we're receiving passive income from multiple clients. And our clients are super happy because they're like, I'm making back my investment in 6 to 12 months. Typically, they're super happy. They never see things like that because in real estate, you don't see those kind of returns. And it's completely hands off. So they're happy. Forex is also very passive and big. But the biggest one that I see for us real estate investors is loan modifications, right? So in 2009 and 2008, what happened is, there were a lot of foreclosures, obviously, and a lot of people lost their homes. But a lot of people were trying to save their homes. So there are these companies that came out, and they're called loan modification companies that came out, and they charge homeowners $1,500 to $2,500 to organize a loan modification on their loan. I'm sure you already know about this, right? Yeah, it sounds like you do. So these companies came out of the woodworks and literally overnight, $10 million, $20 million company, $40 million companies, because the amount of foreclosures was just, the leads were just, people were just throwing money, like needing to save their home. And so that's exactly what's going to happen. I already foresee it happening. 3.6 million Americans already defaulted on their first mortgage payment. 3.6 million. They're expected 10 million plus Americans to default on their mortgage payment. And what's happening is these banks do not have the infrastructure to be able to do and handle these loan modifications. And that's where we come in. We're going to help out a lot with this. The CARES Act is not going to be able to help enough. So
so you're making a good point. So I went through 2008. I'm in the mortgage business since 2001. So I went through. So I saw what you're talking about. So I was just saying before we got on that what I've been seeing this week is that a lot of these big funds are buying up mortgage pools already. all the fix and flip investors, all these non-QM loans, they're buying up these mortgage pools already. And when I look at the sheets for them, that a lot of the properties are already in foreclosure, or they're fix and flips that were never completed. So because you can see the draw schedule, right? I can see what the draw schedule is. So, you know, I agree with you that there's going to be a market for that. And it's something that hasn't been around for a while. There were a lot of loan mods in 09 to 10, 11, 12. You know, do you have a strategy to go after a specific market in that, or is it just a general consumer, or is it investors, or is it like, do you have a specific strategy to target that kind of business?
Yeah. So, you know, typically it's pre-foreclosure. So you want to deal with homeowners. We're going to be dealing directly with homeowners that deal with, you know, some of the bigger, larger banks. So homeowners typically, and there's just so many lead sources out there that you can buy these leads from. There's even companies that will literally sell you leads that they'll connect you live on a call, you know, so they're very qualified leads. And I think the biggest thing that I look for, and when I look for business opportunities, you know, I've been doing wholesaling for 7.5 years. You know, at the age of 24, I was making $1.4 million a year flipping development opportunities. I was 23 turning 24. So, and there was a huge open market for that. And so, you know, what I just do now is, you know, I'm looking for business opportunities where it's a blue ocean. There's a lot of it. And then there's not a lot of competition. So
you're a pioneer almost.
Exactly. So like loan modifications, like look at the competition for that. There's like, what guru is teaching you how to do loan modifications, right? There's no one really doing that, but it's a blue ocean. There's a massive, massive, massive abundance of leads that are about to flood. And the guys that do know about it are going to be literally overnight, just destroying it. But not only destroying it, the best part about it is that you're gonna be helping homeowners stay in their home. You know what I mean? It's a great business. It's not like, you know, shark business. This is a great opportunity to help homeowners stay in their home, modify their loan, capitalize on the opportunity to modify their loan, and put all their late payments on the back end. And it's just incredible, you know? So yeah, that's the kind of business opportunities that I love. The same thing with Amazon.
Let me ask you a question along those lines, because you're in real estate, you're investing and you're wholesaling. Will you be looking for opportunities within those loan mods to buy properties? Are you going to see, you know, because you said pre-foreclosures. Obviously, as a wholesaler, that was probably, I in my brain, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I can see how you're redirecting. But we were going after people for pre-foreclosures before, but we were directing it here. Now we're going to redirect some of it here. So it kind of meets your business model in a lot of ways. I mean, are you going to still look for buying opportunities in that way?
Yes. My biggest thing is right now, you know, I'm waiting, you know, I listen to one of my mentors, you know, and he's a guy that has about $9 billion worth of assets with a B. So he's a guy that you want to listen to. So I asked him, you know, I said, you know, how should I be moving in this market? And I just listened to exactly what he did in the last year, how he capitalized and grew his portfolio so large and so profitably, you know, buy land. He said, dude, land is the biggest opportunity. When the market corrects and you're at support levels, right? And now prices are starting to go up and we're going into a recovery phase, right? That is the time to buy land. Why? Because no one has enough liquidity to be able to buy land. Banks, it's not making you money, so banks need it off their books. He's like, dude, buying commercialized zone land for multifamily is like shooting fish in a barrel. In Class A, Class B areas, build Class B type apartment complexes and rent them to professionals, right? Rent them to professionals. And, you know, as you know, real estate's cyclical. It's very predictable. It's not like gold or the stock market where one day we're up here, next day we're down here. It's slow. It's very predictable. So, you know, in 2009, we had a steady increase, and guess what? We're going to have a fall. And guess what? Once it's time to go back up, we're going to have a steady increase again. And it's just going to be predictable. So as that steady increase is coming up, that's when I'm going to be buying land and building, God willing, building thousands and thousands and thousands of multifamily units. And that's where my goal is.
Yeah, that brings another question to life for me. So obviously commercial space right now I like commercial too, but some of the space is going to be not the best. You know, retail, we don't know what's going to happen with retail now, obviously, especially, and you're doing drop shipping. So you believe that we don't really know what's going to do with retail. I believe that a lot of that commercial space is good to buy, to repurpose, to rezone, to repurpose. You know, I've been looking in those areas in general. And I know there's somebody on here from San Francisco and I'm from New York, and a lot of the areas here, because there was such a residential shortage, people were taking commercial space and repurposing it for kind of like what you're talking about. So is that what you see happening in your markets, that you can buy this commercial space and live workspaces and repurpose a lot of it. And that's where there'll be a big market.
100%. I think the biggest opportunities for commercial real estate are going to be self-storage, multifamily, obviously, and warehouse space. You know, as Amazon keeps growing and as these companies keep going more digitalized and going online, because again, people are still going to be scared from this COVID stuff. You know, warehouse space is going to be needed, and a lot of companies are going to start pivoting to more of a warehouse shipping-based model. So I think those are the biggest commercial asset opportunities. You know, a lot of these companies like Macy's, JCPenney, you know, Neiman Marcus, I mean, you're seeing them. They're going out of business. And it's just, I think those are the three biggest asset classes. Self-storage, because it's so inexpensive that people are still going to pay for it. It's so cheap, and people are going to need it because they're going to be downsizing. Phenomenal business, phenomenal, you know, asset class, warehouse space, and then, you know, multifamily.
Good. So there's a lot of real estate people on these calls, and what I found interesting about what you're doing is that you have the sales team, right? And they had a certain set of skills that you had trained them for, and now you're training them for something else. So I think it's a great thing that I'm curious about. How are you repurposing them, and what, you know, is it a different pitch? Do you create different scripts? You know, how do you do that for a sales team? For those looking to build a sales team, how would you recommend they, one, bring people in and train them to do things, and second, like, you're repurposing them. So how are you doing that?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question. You know, the way that we're repurposing our sales team, a lot of them we repurpose to helping us on the sales with Amazon, because we have a lot of clients right now that we're pretty much, we're overflooded with the amount of demand that we have for our Amazon stores, because people are seeing the results. They're seeing the kind of passive income that's being created. So we have a lot of demand. So we've transitioned a lot of those sales team into like client coordinators, people helping people on board. But also, you know, for loan modifications, that's going to be a huge demand, you know, and when that happens by next month, when we get into really, really a huge demand of foreclosures, you know, 7 million, 10 million, foreclosures or pre-foreclosures, that's when our sales team again will go back into that. But for wholesalers, I just want to say, like, wholesaling is still, there's still an opportunity for wholesaling, and I see people still doing wholesale deals, and it's amazing. You know, it's just 50% of the buyers have gotten wiped out, and I'm talking to some of these buyers, and their lenders are calling loans. I'm seeing these lenders call loans, and dude, that's a scary thing. Can you imagine renovating a $200,000 house? And now your lender calls you, hey man, I'm gonna need that $200,000 back. You got 7 days. I mean, that's what these lenders are saying.
Yeah, and you know, people didn't realize when they were taking the loans from these lenders who weren't, they were commercial banks really. There's not really laws. It's the wild, wild west. Like they can call that loan, especially if it's a 1 year note. They're calling those notes. I was on a call with a fix it flip lender. Like, this is probably right at the beginning, like 2 weeks into the pandemic, and he's like, no, we're still lending. I said, but how are you guys funding the draws at this point right now? Because I don't think you guys are. And he's like, no, we're going to still fund them. But that's what I'm seeing. They're not funding. So, okay, you've got $100,000 in draws that you're supposed to be getting, and now you're not getting it. So what happens then? Well, the property's unfinished. And the property. So I think you're right. For those people who are on here, who are real estate people, there's going to be opportunities to buy in this market for sure. And the fact that you're going towards loan modifications, I also see as a positive in a lot of ways, because you're right. There's going to be opportunities to buy. There's always opportunities to buy. So, you know, what you're saying, and I agree with you, you know, and I'll give you credit for this. You're the first person. I went through 08 and I saw loan modifications all over the place. But you're the first person that's brought it up to me in the new world. And I talk to mortgage people every single day. So I think that, listen, I commend you for trying to go in a different direction to go towards that for sure. I think, you know, I think it's probably a smart move because you see foreclosures coming.
They're already, I mean, look at the default rates. It's ridiculous. And they're projecting more defaults than 2008. So that means more opportunity to help people stay in their home and capitalize on a loan modification. And I'm telling you,
I'm sorry. So you're in a hot market too. You're in Tampa, right? Is that where you are?
Tampa.
So which has been a booming market. So what are you seeing in your market as far as, because I'm assuming there was an inventory shortage there. Are you seeing kind of just people standing still, or what are you starting to see in that market?
Dude, I'll be honest, like 50 to 60% of the buyers have been wiped out, especially with changing, you know, the criteria of, and really tightening the lending, you know, having to put down 20% now versus, 10% or 5% for first-time home buyers, and having a credit score over 700 credit score. I mean, that really changes the game. It wipes out buyers. Deals are still getting done, no question. People are still buying, and there's still opportunity to do that. But my only thing, the way that I think as an entrepreneur is like, why try to squeeze more out of something when there's like massive, like the wealth transfer, right? There's a wealth transfer happening. People are losing billions and billions of dollars, and it's not disappearing into midair. Where's it going? It's going into somebody's pockets. It's going into somebody else's pockets. And that's where I want to be. I want to be on that end. So I don't want to be at the end where I'm just stuck to one model, trying to keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. I want to go somewhere else where there's an abundance and say, hey, dude, I'm the only one here in this abundance. Just like you said, I'm the only one. Who else told you about loan modifications? You know a lot of people in real estate. Why is no one talking about it? What, right? Why is no one talking about it when the guys in 2009, they started their company and there were companies literally like guys that used to be ex-convicts that started a loan mod company and 15 million year one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like there were so many people making so much money, they had to put regulations on it because people were making so much money doing it and scamming people, not actually helping them do the loan mods. So people were making tens of millions of dollars doing this, unfortunately, and scamming people. We don't plan on being those people. We know how to do it the right way.
I'm assuming it's a lot more regulated now than it was then.
It was, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, and the other thing too is that was a lot of the loan modification business was that's mortgage people last time. And people aren't running from the mortgage business yet. And, as a mortgage company, we're still doing a lot of business, but I see what you're saying. Like defaults are going to be up. Like, our conversations to this point right now are, this unemployment rate is going to affect us at some point. It's not like we've only, it's only been a month. And so it's going to affect us at some point. So I agree that there's opportunities in the market for sure. Is there anything you want to tell people? And guys, I'm going to start, I know there's a bunch of questions. I'm going to start answering some of those right after this. If you have any other questions, start dropping them in the Q&A. But is there anything else you'd want to tell people as far as, hey, I'm looking to start buying real estate because I think it's going to be an opportunity. Whereas, what advice would you give them? And I know we talked about commercial a little bit. What advice would you give them?
I would say before you start buying real estate, just wait till you see prices stabilize, because I really believe that prices are going to drop an additional 25 to 35%. And, first buyers, this is something I learned again from one of my mentors. First buyers get killed. First buyers on the front line get killed. First buyers that want to buy the stock market because they believe it's going to go up, they get killed. And it's just wait, just be patient. If you have liquidity, be patient. Real estate moves slow. You're going to be able to predict it when we're at its bottom. You're going to be able to predict it. You're going to predict it when it's going back up again. And that's the time to start buying. So just be patient. That's good.
And I had somebody in here ask, what do you think the best investments are? And sorry, we answered that a little bit. And again, I echo what Rafael's saying a little bit. I think that there's going to be opportunity to buy in a couple of different markets. And I mentioned Airbnb before. He answered commercial a little bit. Like there's opportunities there where there's going to be values. Besides that, I agree with what you're saying. I think you're going to have to wait and see what's going to surface right now. So I have somebody that just asked, if you were a 19-year-old Rafael today, what would you do?
Oh man, that's a good question. 19-year-old Rafael was very different than now. But if I was 19 again and I had zero money, right now what I would do, I would probably try and wholesale deals. And so if you are wholesaling deals, wholesaling is a great way to up your cash reserves. You can make $100,000 in wholesaling in freaking, 2 months. The good thing about wholesaling right now is that sellers are motivated. So that is a good thing. The bad thing about wholesaling right now is that buyers are scared. So if you have sellers that are motivated and buyers are scared, it's hard to put a deal together. So what I would recommend doing is find the buyers. That's step one. If you're wholesaling, find the buyers first. Find the buyers that are not scared, that have money, that have liquidity. They're going to be buying for a lot cheaper and being more conservative, but that's okay. Find those buyers that are buying still. Once you find those buyers, reverse engineer, and then find the houses that they're looking for and supply them with those houses. So that's what I would recommend at 19.
That's good. I have somebody else that asked you, you mentioned books. What are the most impactful that you would recommend?
The biggest one that I tell everybody is obviously the Bible. The Bible is the most, impactful book that I've read because it really did change my life. And whether you're spiritual or you're Christian or Catholic or Muslim, it doesn't matter to me. the Bible is, for me, one of the most wisdom-filled books. And I have a belief in God. I'm monotheistic. I believe in God. I believe there's one God. I believe I can have a conversation with God. He's a higher power, and he knows me better than I know me. You know, I believe God knows me better than I know me. So, and he knows what's meant for me and what's purposeful for me. So the Bible really helped me find me. It helped me find myself, and it helped me gain a lot of confidence in something bigger than me. It didn't help me gain confidence in myself because I was a, 5'6" little, dweeb that was weird and crazy because I went through so many traumatic experiences in my life. I couldn't even communicate with people, let alone this conversation is not natural for me. These are learned skills and traits that I had to develop myself. So like, my relationship with God is everything, and the Bible is the most impactful book. Another really good book that I read is The 50th Law by Robert Greene. That's a phenomenal book. The 48 Laws of Power, 50th Law with Robert Greene and 50 Cent. That's a phenomenal book. Last favorite book is a book called Traction by Gino Wickman. It's a book that helped me really understand the structure of an organization, understanding process mapping, understanding accountability charts, understanding KPI management and KPI structure for every one of your departments in your business. I mean, that book alone just revolutionized my company and turned it from, $300,000 company to 1.4 million to, $5 million. So, yeah.
I have another one here. How would you look for short sales? If you were looking for them, how would you be looking for them?
How do you find short sales? So flipping REOs is also going to be a big opportunity once there are a lot of REOs and a lot of foreclosures actually happen. So that'll be probably 3 months to 4 months down the line, but flipping REOs is going to be a massive opportunity as well. So the way you found those is on the market. It's going to be easy. In the next 4 or 5 months, wholesaling is going to be beautiful because there's going to be so many REOs. You're going to be able to get so many deals literally just on the market and then flipping them to your buyers. And, it's going to be beautiful again, So yeah, on the market, short sales on the market, easy. Somebody said, repeat the last book. That book is called Traction by Gino Wickman.
So I had somebody else in here that asked, what do you think of Shopify drop shipping?
I think drop shipping in general is an amazing business opportunity because you're not holding any inventory. You're only buying inventory once you actually get it. Shopify drop shipping is phenomenal. What I don't like is the fact that you have to pay for ads to drive traffic. With Amazon drop shipping, there's no ads you have to pay. And that's why I love Amazon drop shipping. Preferably.
Guys, are there any more questions for Rafael before we let him get out of here? All right, Rafael, I really appreciate you coming on. Guys, just real quick, I'm putting next week's event in the panel. It's a great event. She's teaching financial literacy to our children, so definitely go check that out. But Rafael, I really enjoyed having you again. I just wanted to go back to the original video that I watched you that, it was really powerful how you turned that around. And I've watched it more than once. So even for me, I'm a little bit older than you, but that resonated with me and the positivity inspired me. So I really, really appreciate it, even myself.
Thank you, brother. I thank you so much for listening to that story, So thank you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Take care, man.